game of the day came in New Orleans in the Superdome. The Chiefs and the Saints got together. You saw the little piece of Drew Brees talking about the fact that he returned to action just 5 weeks after suffering 11 fractured ribs, a collapsed lung. Jay Glazer of Fox spoke to Brees on Saturday. Brees said he wasn't 100%, and he couldn't get another scan to see how healed his ribs were or weren't because of concerns that he's been bombarded with too much radiation and possibly could become the Incredible Hulk if he continued to bombard himself with radiation, because he'd already had 3 scans of his torso previously. So they didn't know how healed the ribs were. He was going based on how he feels. He's not 100%, as he admitted, and it looked that way. And Chris, this is the basic analysis. Starting quarterback, backup quarterback. What percentage are you willing to tolerate below 100 of your starter before you go with a 100% backup? And Taysom Hill has played well. I'm stunned, frankly, that they went with Brees because the eyeball test says the guy's not right. Yeah, they almost won, but the eyeball test says the guy's not right. They almost won because their defense did enough to hold down that Chiefs attack. Their offense did what their offense normally would do, score points. I'm surprised that Sean Payton, who is a genius of geniuses, would allow Drew Brees to, by all appearances, kind of muscle his way back onto the field.
Yeah, well, agreed. And the offense wasn't what it always is, right? I mean, let's not forget, they got a safety, they got a short field, score at one point, too, that helped out their football team. But I think the point is, like the first thing you said, Mike, I mean, first off, it didn't look like he was comfortable being out there, let alone like what he looked to us like as a football player, because that was less than. No, there's no doubt about it. But at no point during the game did you ever feel like he felt comfortable in the pocket, making throws, making decisions. I mean, some of the early throws, decisions, and even sacks, there was a lot of double clutch. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Should I throw it? Should I pull the trigger? Should I move in the pocket? So, yeah, from that standpoint alone, he did not look comfortable, and he did not play well. And because of that, even though the Chiefs weren't playing great, like, you knew, I don't know, I never felt like the Chiefs were in danger of losing the football game because of that. That was a big aspect of the game. And, I think you bring up a good question. Sean Payton's in a really tough spot there. You got a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer who says he wants to play. What do you do there? I don't know. That's really tough. But obviously he wasn't close to 100%. I don't think he was really at 90%. And in a lot of ways, it really affected their football team in some big moments. There's no doubt.
And now you got to turn it around and play another game on Friday. I mean, what do you do this week when it's clear the guy is less than 100%? You're going to have people in the locker room that are giving the head coach the side eye thinking, why are we going with a diminished, physically 41-year-old quarterback when we all witnessed, we all felt what it was like when he was out there and he didn't feel comfortable, and it was obvious he didn't feel comfortable. He had 5 incomplete passes to start the game, or I think it was 6. He had never been 0-6. That's what it was, 0-6 before in his career to start a game. He had an interception among those first 6 passes, and he should have had another one. His first throw of the game was picked off by Daniel Sorensen until a teammate collided with him and knocked the ball out.
His hand, right.
And on the broadcast, it's like they didn't even notice it. They barely gave in. It's like, dude, the first throw into double coverage, and he's lucky it was double coverage, because if it was single coverage, it was getting intercepted by the guy who was right there to get the ball. I mean, that was the first clue that something's not right. It got worse, then it got better, but this is the Chiefs. You can't have your starting quarterback at less than 100% and expect to outscore the Kansas City Chiefs, period.
No, you cannot. Even the Chiefs on a day where, in a lot of ways, the Saints beat their butts in a lot of areas. I mean, we saw Patrick Mahomes under about as much pressure and get hit as much as I've seen him hit in his career to this point. It was a day where, yeah, he made magic, but he didn't make magic happen nearly as often as we're used to seeing. I mean, the Saints defense did some good things. Like you said, it was there for the taking. It was, as far as how they match up with them and, catching the Chiefs. But their offense, needed to play an A effort or, an A- type of football game. And realistically, I think if we sat here and graded the Saints offense and Brees and everything together, no, that was a C effort, a C+ effort, really. And the statistics for Brees.
C+.
Yeah, I mean,
C+.
but Mike, I don't know. Like, really though, what do you do if you're Sean Payton? What do you do there? Okay, Drew Brees comes to you and says, Monday, I think I can play this week. I want to play. Hey, Drew, where do you think you're at? Well, I don't know. I can throw. I'm not 100%, which basically means I'm not even really 90% either. But where do you go with that? It's like Coach Dungy said on the show last night. When your stud, your star, your ace comes to you like that, as a coach, you got to just kind of trust them and ride with it. And I don't know if you're, you're in a no-win situation if you're Sean Payton there, really.
You study film. I study people.
Yeah.
I study facial expressions. I study demeanors. I study the way the words are delivered. So let's study, shall we, Sean Payton after the game discussing the performance of Drew Brees.
Offensively, we didn't start real well, and so it's hard to just – obviously you can – point to one position, but I felt like our third down numbers weren't good enough today. I didn't feel like we ran the ball efficiently when we tried. Give Kansas City credit. We battled back in the game, but you've got to be better on third down. And when you're not, you don't have those attempts. You don't have the snaps, the time of possession, all the things you need against a good offense like that. We talk about time of possession in a game like this, and that includes converting third down. So overall, offensively, we weren't very sharp.
So it was spread around. It wasn't focused on Drew Brees and this core question, fundamental question, with the game looming in just 4 days. The Saints don't have a short week game this year per se. They didn't have a Thursday turnaround. They had a Friday turnaround. So they get a little more time than they would have if they had played this game on Thursday. But I don't know if that one day is going to make a difference. And we don't know what kind of additional damage Drew Brees may have done just out there moving around and whether and to what extent he got banged around. It's not like it took a big hit that had anyone saying, oh, my God, he's not going to get up. But this really will be a challenge for Sean Payton. And the one thing we know is that no one will know exactly where they're going to go on Friday until we get closer to Friday, because Sean Payton has indeed mastered the very delicate, difficult art of getting everyone to shut the F up when it comes to who the quarterback is going to be. We saw it with the Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston question 5 weeks ago. And then last week, Payton himself on Wednesday. And you know what? He didn't know how right he was when he told reporters that Drew Brees still has a ways to go. Yes, he does. But at the same time, Brees was taking all of the first team reps on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Well, that is like, that to me, I thought about that last night. See, that to me is where, and I don't remember the timing of last week, but just real quick, like, did he say that before practice? Was that a Wednesday morning press conference? I couldn't remember that specifically either, because that comment was made in such a way where I don't know. I mean, he guess he's a good liar or a good BSer if that's the case, if that was the plan all along. But I just felt like it was such a, no, he's not quite there yet. Did Drew Brees come in and go, wait, no, I am there yet. I'm going to play this week. And did that happen? Or was this the okie doke the whole time?
It was the okie doke.
It was the okie doke. All right. Well, there's no okie doke this week. Drew's going to be playing.
No. Well, and I think it was Ian Rappaport yesterday that made the okie doke 100% clear. To the extent the report is accurate, I'm not saying it isn't, but we're taking the leap of faith here. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that this was the plan all along. As of Monday, the plan was he's getting the practice reps all week. He's the guy, period, end of statement. That's it.
Right.
And it was just a day before Monday that Jay Glazer of Fox said that the Christmas Day game against the Vikings is the more likely target for return. And I guarantee you Glazer got that straight from Payton.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that.
Sorry, Jay. Jay doesn't like it when we say those things. It's 4:11 in the morning in the West Coast. Don't even want to tell him that I said that, and hopefully he won't watch.
Tweet at him, everybody. Do it now.
But because he will fly here. He will fly here. And the first day I met, let me just tell you a story. I don't know if I ever told you this before. The first I ever met the guy was early 2009 in Tampa, Super Bowl week. And he walks up to me, and he put his thumb right in this spot on your throat.
Yeah, I know. Right. It's a wrestling thing.
By your
right.
trachea.
Yeah.
And he pushed and he pressed it in, and I couldn't breathe for 2 minutes. So that was my introduction
I like
to the
this
guy.
story. Oh,
without any reason to upset him. So if he's upset, I'm getting more than the thumb and the trachea.
Yeah, well,
so anyway,
hey,
don't tell him I said that.
Jay Glazer's California UFC tough. You're just West Virginia soft. What can we say? I don't know.
but anyway, Payton pulled it off last week, and you're right. Is it not gonna be Brees? I mean, yanking Brees for Hill.
Yeah, that's right. There's no way
this week would be 1,000 times worse than never letting him back on the field in the first place.
I think so in a lot of ways. I mean, it would almost shine a light on the situation. Like, you shouldn't have played. Drew, you were selfish for wanting to play. Now it was that bad, and you're banged up. We want to take you out once again. Either way, listen, it was a tough situation. They battled, as they always do, the New Orleans Saints. Two, they'll be able to sell to their football team if they do play in the Super Bowl and match up again that, hey, we weren't at our 100. Drew wasn't at 100%. And look, we still only lost by 3 points. So in that aspect, too, there was no belief lost that they, don't belong in the field with them or anything like that. But, within all this, too, we talk about, of course, the Chiefs' offense and everything they do on a weekly basis. Got to give the Chiefs' defense a little credit in the game, what they did yesterday. I mean, you talked about some of the dropped interceptions. Brees' stats are a little misleading. 15 for 34 really wasn't as good as what it actually was. It was worse than that. There was probably, legitimately 4 in both your hands dropped interceptions. Tyrann Mathieu had the one in the end zone, right, that he dropped. But their playmaking, and the big thing is, to me, with Kansas City, Mike, they played a game where they said, no, we're going to stop the run. Drew Brees, you're going to have to beat us. That's what they did. I mean, that was the game plan. There's no other way around it. It was stop Alvin Kamara, stop the run. Drew Brees, can you beat us in the pass game? And, of course, Drew was not up to that task yesterday. But we've seen Kansas City, that D, even though they're middle of the league average, man, when you ask them to rise up to the occasion, stop the Titans and Derrick Henry in the AFC Championship, stop Shanahan and, Garoppolo and all the running they do in the Super Bowl. And now, a game yesterday, it just shows you they have some championship caliber aspects about them where they can rise to the occasion and be physical and beat the best offenses up in football a little bit.
15 for 34, I thought you misspoke. 15 for 34.
Right.
That is, according to Pete Demolitis, the lowest completion percentage for Drew Brees since 2006. It's 44%.
Yeah.
44% stunk in the 70s. 44% nowadays, when the bar is 70%, right? You're doing great if you're 70, and if you're above 70, you're awesome. 44% is and it's look, the passer rating formula. I like it because it goes back years and it's apples to apples.
It has some
but
stuff
how do you
to
get
it.
an 84? An 84. Now again, 84 used to be not a horrible number. Nowadays, 84 is kind of like, man, you stink. But you got an 84 rating and 44% passer rating. 3 touchdown passes help.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns do it.
And only 1 interception, like you said. Dropped interceptions don't show up on the stat sheet for the quarterback. That's more next-level analysis. And the bottom line is Drew Brees was not Drew Brees yesterday. And but for a heroic effort by the defense to take some of the steam out of Patrick Mahomes. Now, they didn't take any steam out of the running game. You saw that number 179.
That's awesome.
And they got shredded the week before by the Eagles. So credit to the Chiefs to pivot to an obvious weakness that emerged based on that game against the Eagles.
The Chiefs, malleable that way. Wow, big word for me on a Monday morning.
Well done.
But amazing, though, just another thing here where, it's kind of a defensive, we need to run the ball, play an ugly type of football game. No problem. Okay, no big issue. That to me is the other thing that is just dangerous about the Chiefs. I feel like we say this every week, but they still haven't played their best game. I don't even think they played close to their best game. I mean, yesterday I really think the Chiefs played a B game for what they're capable of doing, all in all. But it just showed on the road, hey, we got to do it with our defense and run the ball. Well, we could do it that way too. it's just amazing how they do it. It really is. And there's a toughness and just a belief within their football team. But I will say this. Over the last few weeks, am concerned about the lack of pass protection for Patrick Mahomes. I said this on my podcast last week where I wrote, there's too many times in my notes here lately I'm writing, bad pass pro, Mahomes avoids it. We sometimes forget about how bad the pass protection is because he just makes it look so easy how he weaves and goes and in and out, and then, boom, and there's a 40-yard pass, and we forget he was under duress and he made a 40-yard throw to a receiver. But this is 3 or 4 weeks in a row now where it's a little concerning. It's a little much. Mike, how many times did they run sprint plays yesterday, right? The sprint right, sprint left, all of that. That was because Andy Reid had no faith in their ability to block the pass rush with the Saints. So that's a little concerning for the Chiefs as we go down the stretch here.
We heard from Sean Payton earlier. Let's hear from Patrick Mahomes on winning close games, and at the tail end, a little Andy Reid on the team's offensive line. Here they are.
You got to be able to win games in this league. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. I mean, it looks cool and it feels awesome to win by 20, 30 points. But when you have a team that can find a way to win with their offense, the defense, and special teams every single game and find a way to win no matter what the score is, those are the teams that make runs at the end of the year.
Listen, we scored points and against a good defensive front. I mean, you're talking about one of the best defensive fronts, if not the best, right there. So statistically, and I thought we ran the ball efficiently, especially the second half, and we threw the ball well, and with the exception of a couple of blitzes they had, they got us on the one at the end there, but we were pretty clean for the most part. There were a couple where they got the quarterback, but fairly clean.
You're right, Chris. We're so accustomed to seeing Patrick Mahomes run around. He's buying time with his feet. He's making the offensive line look better because even if the protection collapses, he knows how to get away from them. We saw a big hit yesterday applied to Mahomes. It created a fumble in a short field for the Saints when the game was still in doubt, and It helped make it a little more interesting. I mean, it was 29-15, and it just felt like, well, it didn't feel like it. It was the truth. It was one moment away from it being a blowout.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, right?
29-15.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I mean, it's commonplace. That's why the Chiefs are frustrating. I just feel like we've said this, probably 5-6 weeks in a row, where you go, man, they're one drive or two plays away from just blowing this team off the field, and they let them hang around. But that's a little concerning. Listen, he's capable of overcoming, pass rush. We know that. But the way it's been the last few weeks, no, I think they're playing with fire a little bit. The good thing is, like he said, they ran the football. They did things like that. They were patient. I mean, when have we seen the Chiefs yesterday, 92 offensive plays, 4.5 yards per play. That just shows you they were going to be patient and just take what the defense gave them and all of that. But it's something at least to keep an eye on down the stretch. Running game improving. Le'Veon Bell was great, but pass protection and keeping Patrick Mahomes clean, a little scary here at the end of the season.
Le'Veon Bell picked up 62 rushing yards and a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 79 yards. He had an injury at the end of the game that looked bad. X-rays were negative. That's only part of the story, though. Yeah. Until you do an MRI, you don't know what damage there may be to ligaments and tendons and other things. You mentioned the concept of the Chiefs playing with fire. Chris, the Chiefs are the guy at the circus that juggles fire and swallows a sword that's on fire. I mean, they live in fire. They thrive in it.
They do.
Look at last year in the playoffs. You got to spot the other team a 10-point lead before the Chiefs even wake up. And they're so used to it. And part of it is the psychology on the other sideline. They know when they see that red helmet with the arrowhead on the side and the KC in it that no lead is safe and that the Chiefs are going to find a way. And when the game is on the line, it's going to be 15 running around, hair literally on fire, sidearm pass, something spectacular that's just going to completely deflate you and defeat you. And that's the way they are.
You're
and
right.
Until somebody breaks that. Now, can the Bills break that? Maybe they can.
Yeah.
Can the Steelers break that? Maybe they can. Can the Ravens break that? Maybe they can. We'll find out in January.
No, I mean, Mike, you're right. Again, I'm not picking against them. I know that. I'm not. I mean, there's just not any team in football. I'm not taking the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and company. I mean, really, all that needs to be said, just to your point, they've won. They won at Baltimore. They beat the Patriots. They've beaten Buffalo. They've beaten the Raiders. They've beaten the Buccaneers, the Dolphins on the road, the Saints on the road. I mean, the resume is really phenomenal. I mean, you can't really argue it. It's not like they squeaked by and, oh, hey, we're 13-1 and we got one of those lucky years where the schedule fell right and we've played a lot of crappy teams for some reason. No, they played like some of the best teams in football. It just doesn't matter. You're right, Mike. I mean, it's just frustrating because I want to see that A or A-plus game to see what they can be, at their ultimate, because I just think it can be scary good and fun to watch. But I don't know, it's like a good tease. I guess it keeps me wanting more and more and tuning in every week.
After they won the game last night, I posted this question on Twitter: Chiefs or the field for Super Bowl champion? I just retweeted it. 19,000 votes so far. 56.2%.
The field.
Take the Chiefs.
Yeah.
43.8 take the field.
Yeah.
And look, for me, it's Chiefs versus the field. Give me Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. And when you look at the NFC, look, I hate to agree with your initial take from back in September that the Chiefs were going to repeat, but there's no one out there that I think can rise up and do it. Now, if they do, great story. Awesome. But the Chiefs have set a standard that no one can match. We saw the Raiders catch them napping 40-32. It takes 40 points to beat them, right? They scored 32 against the Raiders. They scored 32 against the Saints. You got to score more than 32. You got to get 35 or more. You got to get 40 if you're going to have a chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And who's able to do that in January? For now, there's not a belief that anyone is going to be able to pull that off. Steve Kornacki's playoff picture from last night. The Chiefs, clearly the 1 seed. They're not going to blow the 1 seed. It's not clinched yet. They're not going to blow the 1 seed. The Saints have blown the 1 seed over the last 2 weeks. They've lost 2 in a row. The Packers keep winning. It's not over yet, but the Green Bay magic number is 1,
right,
to have the number 1 seed. They've got the Titans on Sunday night, which will not be easy, and then they've got the Bears to finish the season, which may not be easy.
No,
hey, my Bears are
your
on
Bears
fire
are playing
right
solid.
now.
Yeah, they're playing good football. I mean, their offense has turned the corner. It's amazing the change they've made the last 2 weeks. So yeah, that's not going to be any guarantee for the Packers.
But it is looking much better for the
Yes.
Packers than it was just a couple of weeks ago when they trailed the Saints by a game in that race for the number 1 seed. And obviously this year the number 1 seed means you're the only team per conference to get the bye week. And then the road to the Super Bowl, as it always does, will go through your stadium, which may not mean as much this year, but it still means something. Lambeau Field versus Superdome in January, that means something. And there it is, Green Bay's chances now, 76%. The Saints actually have a lower chance than the Seahawks for the number 1 seed. Seahawks at 15. Their chances jumped 10% yesterday. New Orleans plummeted from 21 to 8. The Packers, without playing on Sunday, in great shape to be the number 1 seed.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.